I'm going to wait for this to testing. Hello, online. We're going to get started here in just a second. Are you going to check the audio, Rick? Testing. We're good. Testing. All right, we're on. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with the Birds, to the birding tidbit portion. We are live online, live streaming this as well as in person. We have got a full room here in the great room at the Nature Center, and we've got people online watching as well. So thank you for joining us, whether you are online or in person. This is our final birding tidbit presentation of the season. It's all wrapping up today. There's reasons for that. We'll get into that here in a moment. But thank you for joining us. My name is Curtis Dykstra, Parks Naturalist and Program Supervisor with Ottawa County Parks and host of the Coffee with the Birds program. Some of you were here at 9:30 for the first feeder watching session, and now you've come to join us for the birding tidbits. Some of you came in for the birding tidbits and are sticking around for the second feeder watching session. So this is the mixture of everybody. So thank you, one and all, for coming. Thank you to our volunteers at the back here. We've got volunteers from the Career Line Tech Center that are helping out. Thank you. Thank you for showing yourself there and reminding me to make you embarrassed. The birding tidbits portion here is a bite-sized presentation on anything bird-related. But before we get into the presentation itself, I have a few things I'd like to go over, because I like to congratulate all of our Mug Club photo contest entries. This is a mosaic of all the entries, so all of the entries have been in every single one of our programs. So thank you for entering. We had a total of 167 entries, and out of that 167, we had 4 honorable mentions here. So congratulations to Matt, Ryan, Lene, and Janet for their pictures here. And a special congratulations to June. This is our final time kind of giving her the kudos for this wonderful picture. Thank you, June. Let's give all of our contestants a round of applause. So this great blue heron picture is on our mug for this season, and you can still purchase them for $25. You can do it online by using this code here. Otherwise, you can go to the front desk over there. You can purchase it there. It's easiest if you do it online, and then you can just pick it up at the front. Makes it much more efficient. But $25 gets you the mug. It also gets you a lapel pin this year. That may not happen every year for various reasons. We've got lapel pins. So thank you for joining the Mug Club. There we go. The mug replacement update, like I said, we've got lapel pins. So the mugs turned out a little dark this year, and the company that made them decided to grant us these lapel pins as a replacement. So those of you who get membership, if you have your membership and you never got a lapel pin, you need to let somebody know at the front desk. I also have some right here. So we need to hand out these little lapel pins. They're actually not all that little. They're nice size here. Okay, so if you are a Mug Club member and you have not picked yours up, please get it today. We've got lots of these for all of our Mug Club members. All you need to do is show your mug at the front desk, or just say your name and we'll look it up on a list. We'll try to trust you too, but yeah, you know, those birders, they're quite the crew. We've also got calendars. There's a few calendars remaining. Those Tech Center students helped to put together this calendar, so support them by purchasing your calendar. It's still March. You only missed out on 2 months, right? So you still got half a month for March and all the rest of the year to enjoy these bird photos from the contest. So thank you to the Career Line Tech Center students for doing that. We also, for the 2026 photo contest, for next season, for the next mug, we have categories. So I mentioned this at the last Coffee with the Birds. I'm going to mention it again real quick. Take pictures of warblers, birds in flight, pictures of any bird along the Grand River Greenway parks, or if you're youth 17 and under, that is a category as well. So we'd love to see you enter. Take those pictures now. We don't have it set up for entries quite yet. We'll probably open that up sometime later this summer. And if you want to stay tuned into that, you can go on to miottawa.org/birding. Just look up Ottawa County Birding and you'll probably come up with the website, and you can sign up for the birding update newswire emails that I send out, and that's got all your information. But that website also will take you to information on the Coffee with the Birds, the Mug Club photo contest. And we also do have a general submissions category. So there will be a 5th category. What's really important, so if your photo doesn't fit any of these, you can still submit it there, okay? Note, very important, all submissions to any category will be considered for the grand prize and placement on the mug, okay? So if you're putting it in the warblers and you're like, well, does that mean it's not going to be on the mug? No, it could, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, my birding challenge update. There's not a whole lot to update from the last time. Birding Washington Part 2 is not done yet. I just have been very busy, so I don't have that video done. So you can watch Part 1. Las Vegas, I went to Vegas at the end of January and did some great birding down there. Those of you who I mentioned the Costas hummingbird, that's the Costas hummingbird that I had as a lifer there. So what I'm doing is a 50-50-50 challenge, 50 birds in 50 states by the time I'm 50 years old. I'm about to turn 49 in a couple of weeks from now. So I've got about a year and a couple of weeks to do this, and I do have plans to do an East Coast trip, New York to Maine in June of 2026. So I'm going to go to Acadia National Park. I got to do all the 7 states, New York to Maine, on a big road trip. So that's the plans there. I'm so looking forward to that trip. And I'm going to go see puffins. I've got my tickets purchased already on the boat. So, and then eventually, if it works out, trying to see if we can get to Hawaii. That would be my last state to go to in March of 2027. So a year from now, I'm hoping that I'm soaking up some sun after the last Coffee with the Birds session next year and go to Hawaii. Big shout out to Aldea Coffee. They're a locally owned certified B Corporation coffee company based here in West Michigan. It began in 2009 as a nonprofit in La Union, Honduras, where it continues to work to better the lives of the community and coffee producers that live there. Aldea now has 2 cafes along the lakeshore in Muskegon and Grand Haven, and they source the majority of their coffee directly from farmers in La Union and roast it at their solar-powered roastery near downtown Muskegon. So a big thank you to Aldea Coffee for donating their coffee. They brew it, they bring it. It's all for you. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. And also a shout out to the live stream being provided by Point of Light Media. That's Rick. He also does video work called Legacy Videos. He does aerial photo video and event video, live streaming and things like that. Obviously, that's what he's doing here. But the legacy videos are basically videos that you can have interviews with your loved ones for long term. So before they pass on, they can pass on their stories and their legacy on a video format. And if you are interested in that, talk to Rick or go to pointoflightmedia.com. Spring birding programs. The schedule is out, and if you haven't seen it, you need to go online and check it out. We've got bird walks, bird banding on the 16th of May, Bald Eagle Bash on the 25th and 26th of April at Grand Ravines with hikes that you can sign up for to view the nest from closer up, birding field trips, woodcock walks, whippoorwill walk, lots going on. Please do check out the website, miottawa.org/birding. And this is the reason why, one of the reasons why we don't do this year-round. The bird feeder watching is the best in the winter, but you know what birding is best in the spring and summer? It's to get outside and go enjoy the birds. So I hope to see some of you on a bird walk or one of these birding events this spring because that is where the birding action is at. And we have a new announcement. We've got a little event coming up. Okay, we've got the confluence of several programs on May 15 to 17. That's a Friday through a Sunday. Friday is the big day field trip. If you like seeing as many bird species as you can in one day here in Ottawa County. I will be leading that field trip on the 15th, Friday. And if you're tired that day and you want to just stop and go to Ottawa Sands and spend the night, you can reserve your treehouse, yurt, or campsite there, because in the morning, right away early, is bird banding the next day. I'm going to be so tired. And we're working on planning some special events in the evenings too for those who are spending the night at the Idema Explorers Camp. We'll have probably an owl prowl or other things, and you won't have to drive a long distance to get there early in the morning for the banding, which will start at probably 7-ish. I can't remember the exact time, depending on the sunrise. So book your site or your treehouse or your yurt for that event coming up May 15 through 17. And you can find out information here, or you can just Google search Idema Explorers Camp to reserve your spot. Okay, Connected County Park. I'm going to hand off the microphone here to Tyler Allen White, who's our stewardship supervisor with Ottawa County Parks, because he has been organizing a Connected County Park program with me, with community engagement I'll let him explain. And it has a lot to do with birds, and I'll let him explain that.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Curtis. So who here thinks that bird conservation is important? Right, okay. And who here would take steps on their own property at home to conserve global bird populations? So that's exactly why I begged Curtis to let me come and speak today. We are launching a new initiative called Connected County Park. So just a little bit of background, I'll keep it quick. In the last 50 years, our bird populations in the United States have declined roughly 30%. So that means that 1 in 3 to 1 in 4 birds that run the landscape 50 years ago are now gone. And that decline is continuing to accelerate into the future. So imagine this program with, say in 20 years, another half of the birds off the landscape, and that's continuing to accelerate. Does anybody know what the most frequently cited number one cause for bird declines are? Any guesses?
Habitat.
Habitat loss, yes, yep. So habitat loss, along with loss of insect populations and abundance, specifically due to the loss of native plants, is the most frequently cited cause of bird declines. And so here in Ottawa County, we are either the fastest or one of the fastest at this point growing counties in Michigan. We are losing roughly 4,000 acres per year that's being converted to developed area. So our park system is about 7,500 acres. And so that size of area that again is being converted to developed area each year is over half the size of our entire park system. And so our park system alone cannot sustain all of the habitats and the systems in this county, especially because most of the land in Ottawa County is in private ownership. And so that's what this initiative is all about, is us leveraging our experience and our resources within our Natural Resources Division and empowering all of you and communities around the county to take steps to implement habitat restoration at home. So in Connected County Park, what we're after is really trying to break down all barriers, make it as easy as possible to teach, empower everybody to take steps at home to restore habitat, support insect populations, bird populations, conserve groundwater, all these things kind of coming together at once. And what we envision is a sustainable future where everybody participates in holding up. Again, there's so many reasons to do it. If you love birds, that's a reason. If you love pollinators, that's a reason. But it all kind of combines into one goal, which ultimately is just a healthier environment throughout the future that's supported by everybody and not just professionals in this field. And conservation and restoration ultimately can't stop at park boundaries at this point in the future. It needs to expand beyond that. So essentially what we are, I'm going to go a little quicker here. Our goals for this initiative. Thank you.
Use that.
Yep. Our goals are to, again, restore and improve our environmental health around our region, expand native habitats through native plantings and invasive species management, empowering communities, again, a community like you, with resources, with tools, with the skills and education in order to do this effectively. Fostering lasting connections between people by cultivating a larger community that's centered around environmental stewardship and transforming individual actions into a collective impact. No person alone, no park system alone can conserve global populations of anything, but together with everybody doing one little part that ultimately combines and is integrated into one whole effort. So we are implementing a lot more education and training. We have native planting workshops coming up in mid-April, resource access that will include native seed that you can get from us, native plants grown in our greenhouse, tool caches throughout the county in the future that you can get tools you need to do this restoration, community engagement, community events. We're launching a certified habitat yard sign program too, where you can promote this program and this initiative right at home by placing one of these signs on your native planting. Barrier removal. So a lot of that is maybe a lack of technical skill, education. Some of that is, you know, if you live in an HOA or a township that doesn't allow native plants, we're looking to try to work with those groups to maybe change language about policies and whatnot to allow native plantings and make it more accessible for everybody. And then again, the idea of collective impact. So we are hosting a launch event. It'll be here on April 4th from 12 to 3:30. So we're going to have conservation partners here with tables around to connect you with local resources. We're going to have a seed and plant swap in the classroom. We'll also have some native seed set out that was processed and collected by our volunteers, where you can build your own little native seed mix to take home and plant. We will have native plant trivia, conservation door prizes. So if you register for the event, you have to be registered online. We're going to have a lot of door prizes that were donated by partners like the Land Conservancy of West Michigan, Career Line Tech Center, Outdoor Discovery Center. The Conservation District 2, we have a $25 gift card to the native plant sale, which is coming up in May. So again, if you register for this event, you'll be automatically entered to win those, and then we'll be having a talk about exactly how to get involved, what that looks like, and we'll have our yard signs ready too for anyone who has native planting already to take home and put up in their yard. I realized after the fact I sent Curtis the version without the QR code for the event. If you have flyers with the QR code, if you are, say, part of a garden club or there's a community center and you want to take a flyer with you, please do. I will have them in the back there, so please grab one from me. You can also go onto our event calendar, and again, you can register for that online. And I would love to see all of you there and get involved with this effort. So, yeah, unless we have any questions, I'll.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Yep. Thank you to our Natural Resource Management Division for putting this together and working with our division community engagement to get this all out to you. I have native plantings in my yard, and I'll tell you what, it is a lot of fun, and it's worth the effort. I see the birds utilizing that all the time. So thank you, and let's do something good for birds. Let's do something good for nature and create some habitat in our yards. All right. I think I said it at the beginning of the season. This tidbit portion just keeps getting bigger, and I've been okay and just kind of flowing with it. And we will start that feeder watching session when we get to it. But I'm going to do my presentation yet, and it'll probably be quarter after, maybe even 20 after before we get that feeder watching session up. But I will stay in there for a full hour for those of you who are planning on it. So just know that. Next year, I think we're going to change up the schedule a little bit to allow more time for this program. All right. Bite-sized presentations on anything bird-related. Today is about my trip to northern Minnesota in a weekend to search for the 5 northern owls. And I will admit that I don't know that we necessarily had in mind that we could get all 5 owls when we left, but we soon realized that it was going to be possible, so we went for it. My friend Mike here is my birding travel friend and partner we've traveled all kinds of places together. Alaska, we've been to Texas, we've been to Arizona, Isle Royal we did. So we've been all over traveling together. Just last night, no, not last night, 2 nights ago, we were at the Hope Takes Flight event at Hope College. So those of you anybody else were there, that was a fun event to go to about bird conservation at the library there at Hope. So finding the 5, let's talk. The trip to Sax-Zim Bog, which is northwest of Duluth, Minnesota. It's about a 10 or so hour drive, 10 to 11 hour drive from here. And it is fastest to go down through Chicago, depending on traffic, to get up there. But it's a long drive, but it was well worth it. And why did we do this? It was a trip in the waiting. It was one of these that we had talked about for a long time. If the right circumstances presented themselves, we were going to do this because it's famous for owls, for winter owls. That is the mecca to find some of the northern owls, some of the hardest owls to find anywhere else in the U.S. So we were waiting for the right winter to do that. And why? Because there was an owl invasion. Now I say invasion, there are invasions that have been more owls than this and less owls than this. This was a moderate level invasion year of great gray owls in particular, but there were also some boreal owls showing up. We said, let's do it. So we did. And it was a reason to celebrate that it was going to come together, finally going to come together. After years of talking about doing this, we were going to do it. And my daughter, she was excited that we were going to. And so excited that she likes to bake, and so she baked a cake with an owl on it for us. I have to include that. So thank you to Natalie. She's 14, and she loved celebrating us going away. Maybe, I don't know, did she have other reasons to celebrate me going away? So what 5 owls were we going to look for? First of all, great gray owl. I had seen great gray owl in 2006 with my dad as a lifer up in Brimley, Michigan. That's my only bird that I've ever seen in Michigan of great gray owl. I have tried for great gray owl in Michigan before, after that, but never seen it since then in Michigan. But I wanted this is a bird you just want to keep seeing. I had been, in fact, to Sax-Zim in 2015. Yeah, look at how cold it was. It was negative 30 degrees. I was going out to look for for a great gray owl, and it was negative 20 midday, and my eyebrows were all freezing up. And guess what? That trip, I did not get a great gray owl. I was 30 seconds from seeing one, but it flew off before I could get there because the person who was trying to get my attention to say, come over here and look at it, honked their horn, and the bird flew off, and I did not see it. I traveled all that way and did not see a great gray owl that year. Whew, that was rough. I did go back in June of 2023, just on a birding trip. I was going to North Dakota, and I spent some time there, and I thought maybe I would see one, because they do actually nest there as well. And I had about a 1-minute view of a bird perched and then flying across the road and off into the woods. Did not have time for pictures or anything, but I did see one, and I was so excited just to see one flying off. Of course, no pictures. It's like, oh, I want to get pictures of it too. So you know what? We're going to go back. So the other owls, great gray owl, that's the number 1. Northern saw-whet owl, the little guy. Northern hawk owl is number 3. Boreal owl, number 4. This is a picture from my trip to Alaska with my friend Mike, where we got our lifer boreal owl up in Fairbanks. A little more common up there. Snowy owl, that's the more common of the owls that we can actually get here in Ottawa County. Okay, this picture was taken up in Chippewa County in the Upper Peninsula. So those are the 5. So we got there, and day 1, we woke up, actually slept in the car because we got there so late, at the spot that we thought we could maybe hear the great gray owl calling in the morning. It wasn't, but we were there early in the morning, and we started to just troll for owls. We just drive the roads out here. This is the map of the bog, and typically this road here, Admiral Road, is one of the best places, excuse me, this road right here, Admiral Road, is one of the best places to look for them. So you just drive up and down these roads, scanning. You look at the eBird reports as to where they've been seen, and you frequent those areas in the early morning and in the evening. It didn't take long. We were traveling down Highway 7 right about over here, and we had an ultra extended telephone pole, and we pulled up, and sure enough, there was a great gray owl sitting on top for a nice view. We pretty much knew we were going to get great gray owl because there have been numerous sightings around the site around the bog that year. And so it turned into a great gray heyday, all right? And this is another view of the bird after it had flown off against the trees. You can see the camouflage of that bird. It's our largest, as in height-wise, of our owls in North America. So it's bigger height-wise, but it's about half the weight, I think, of a great horned owl. So they're all fluff. That's it. But they're mesmerizing when you look them in the face. So here's Mike taking a picture of this bird and that spot out the window. You can see how far away we were. We had the zoom lenses on and everything. We went around the corner and we saw some cars parked off the side of the road. And we thought, wait, is there another great gray? Sure enough, they had one kind of hidden in the branches off. This was like a mile from where we had just seen the first bird. And we were trying to find a good spot. We could see where the bird was, but it was behind all kinds of branches. And we were like, can we see if there's a better spot to see? So we had to, he's like 6'3", and you can see he's up to his knees in snow. But going at this angle, we could see the bird. You can see now here, that's the bird right there. We could see him perched up on the top of the snag there. We trudged through the snow a little bit so that we could get a clearer view of it. And this was the picture that I got. And you can see his head is turned away, but it also turned to look at me. Well, not to look at me. He seemed very calm. That's one thing you want to make sure of when you're viewing owls, that you keep your distance and you don't interfere with it enough that it's going to change its behavior. This was a very calm owl, was not agitated at all, just hanging out there. So we had a little interlude. 2 great grays. We're doing great. We knew because of some online communication that there was a Saw-whet owl that was going to interlude our day that had shown up right next to a bog trail here at the Augie's Bog Walk Trail. And people had already descended on this spot to find it. Can you see the owl in the picture? He's right there, right next to the boardwalk. Like literally, if you'd walked on this portion of the boardwalk and reached out, you probably could have pet him. Of course, we weren't going to do that. And anytime anybody walked on the boardwalk past, they just kind of hurried by and didn't stop. You know, we're trying to not interfere with the bird, but when you get a group growing like that, and eventually it did fly off. But I did get some pictures from a little angle away. Very, very tiny little owl. This is actually a rare owl for up there at this time of the year. They normally migrate a little further south. We get them here in the winter, but they're really hard to find. So seeing a day roosting Saw-whet owl was pretty amazing. It was near some feeders and things, so we wonder if it was hunting some of the birds at the feeders. There's another picture. So we had 2 of the 5, and I'm thinking, hey, wait, we could maybe, let's try. Why not? If we get boreal owl, which would be the prize of all prizes of this weekend, we could maybe get all 5. Well, we drive up Admiral Road again, and at the north end of Admiral Road, there's a group of birders again. We're like, oh, what do they have? Please be a boreal owl. Please, please, please. Nope. Great gray owl. Were we complaining? No, because we watched it sit on the branch there and cough up a pellet right in front of us. That was so cool. Great gray number 3. So I, in one day, saw more great grays than I'd ever seen in my life. I'd only seen 2 others prior to this trip. So we were very happy. We were not sick of great gray owls yet. I don't think you can ever get fully sick of them. The bird flew from here and perched on another branch, and probably my favorite great gray owl picture of the trip is this one right here. That was great gray owl number 3. Oh, and then we went to look for snowy owl on our way to look for hawk owl. There was a Meadowlands community that has some open farm fields and things that had report of snowy owl, so we were going to go see that. Little did we know we would see another great gray owl. Number 4, perched up here, and then it flew and it floated over the field looking for food. It didn't catch anything, but it flew and landed right over by us. We just sat still and started clicking pictures. So quite an awesome experience. We were the only ones there, so it's kind of fun when you're the only ones and you're the ones that found it. So that was number 4. Well, then we went over to Willowsippy State Wildlife Management Area because that's where a northern hawk owl had been seen. And we went to the spot that it had been reported, and we went up and down the roads, and they like this kind of habitat, sparse trees and shrubs and open areas. I mean, they hunt during the day. One of the reasons why you call them hawk owl. Hunting during the day, so good chance of finding it. They like to sit at the top of perches, and we were not seeing it. We were about to leave when a car came from the south and came up to us and rolled down the window, and they said, "Are you looking for the hawk owl?" We're like, "Yeah. It's about a mile and a half down this way. Go check it out." We almost missed running into that guy, and we would have. It was probably about a 45-minute drive from the bog to this spot, and would have just nearly missed it. So we got down to the spot. There were a couple of cars pulled off the side of the road, and over there in the top of that tree was a northern hawk owl. So we got looks at it through the scope. It was snowing, so you can see the snow in front of it. No awesome pictures of this one yet, but good enough for me. And you can see how they perch. They perch right on the tippy top of those sticks. Pretty cool. Hey, that's number 3, right? Number 3 of the owls, and we did not get a snowy owl at the Meadowlands. We looked and did not find the snowy owl there. But the next morning, day 2, North Shore trolling for boreal owl. So we drove the North Shore from Duluth heading north along Lake Superior here because that's one of the methods to look for boreal owls. You just drive slow and you look at every single spruce tree for miles, hoping that your eye catches one. They follow that as a migratory route so that a lot of them accumulate along that lakeshore. So this is the lakeshore here. Here's Duluth. And we drove this stretch here up to 2 harbors along the highway and any off-road that we could that wasn't as busy, looking for boreal owls. Well, we got to 2 harbors and had not found a boreal owl yet, but we ran into somebody at the gas station, and they said, "Oh, are you here for the great gray owls?" Well, not exactly. They said, "Well, there's this great gray owl that's sitting really close for photos and things at the 2 Harbors Lighthouse. So you should come and check it out. There's actually 2 of them there." I said, "Well, we're here. We might as well." So we did. We went and we saw another great gray owl. This is the view of the great gray owl right here. This is with my iPhone. This is not with a zoom lens right here. He was sitting lower than eye level, and you can see all the photographers that were there. There were probably 20 people there taking pictures of it, and he was just sitting there looking for food. He never did catch anything, never did fly while we were there, but I did get some great pictures. He was sitting in the same perch, so we always had these little sticks in the way, such as the bane of wildlife photography, the one stick. But if you get the right angle, you could get his whole face. And you can see he was looking down into the snow, looking for voles and mice to catch. Just neat to see it so up close and undisturbed by us. Some owls, if they're hungry enough, they are not. This guy was not disturbed by us and just kept on hunting. We were probably about 30 yards away from where he was perched. There were already like 15 people there, and he was ignoring everybody. So, and one more great gray. We went and we toured around looking for owls, and Mary Lou's Feeders is a famous place to go when you're up at the bog looking for other birds. There's purple finch, there's a common redpoll, we had evening grosbeaks there and other birds. So we went to Mary Lou's, and at Mary Lou's they're like, "Hey, did you know, just like half mile up the road right here, there's another great gray owl." It's like, oh, okay. By that time we were debating, like, do we go see it or not? I'm like, well, it'd be kind of nice. Then you could say we had half a dozen owls, snowy or great gray owls. So we did, but this is as good a picture as I could get of it. But it's proof of great gray owl number 6 on the trip. So there's the final tally of great grays. Got pictures of every single one of them too. Amazing, amazing weekend to see great gray owls, but our weekend was not done. We made a last-ditch boreal owl effort. We knew where they had been showing up around the bog, and we thought, well, let's increase our chances, go there in the evening and see if one is active. But there's also a couple other things we wanted to see. Mike had mentioned that there was a bobcat that was seen at this intersection here, so we sat here because it was really close to a boreal owl spot too. So we sat at this intersection here. We did actually see bobcat tracks, which was pretty cool, but we did not see the bobcat. And eventually we said, well, there's another thing we want to do that could also involve potentially seeing a boreal owl. So let's go down to the Admiral Road feeders and look for the martin. There was a pine martin that had been frequenting the feeders. We tried for it earlier, never did. You don't know when it's going to show up at the feeders, but you know what? We went down to the feeders and we saw the pine martin. So we like things other than the feathered creatures too. We're looking for, you know, some of the mammals. This was a lifer animal for Mike. I had seen one before, but it was so cool to see him come into the feeders for a little bit and nose around. Well, I had left my phone in the car and was out taking pictures of this guy. And I got back into the car and there was messages all on my phone. Boreal owl at this location. Whoa, wait, Mike, we got to drive. And he stepped on it because it was about a half an hour drive away. Stepped on it down these snowy roads going for boreal owl. There had been one sighted and we were going to go for it. We pulled up. This is not even 10% of the cars that I saw when I got there. I kid you not. There must have been 100 cars lining the roads. I am not exaggerating. And as we were pulling up, people were walking toward me. And I was like, oh no, this is bad news, isn't it? Bad news. Yeah. We rolled the window down. They're like, yeah, it flew off, so we're getting out of here. And like people were streaming like out of an athletic event. You know, you're like driving through and everybody's coming at you. It felt like that, but I was in the middle of the bog in Minnesota. I'm like, what is going on here? It's such a vast area. You don't know how many people are there birding until a boreal owl shows up and everybody goes to the one spot. So here we were, and Mike and I were like, we're going to hang out. If this bird shows back up, we're not going to be gone somewhere. So we're going to hang out. You can see it was late in the day. So what else are we going to do? This is our best chance for boreal owl. So then we saw this group of birders do this. We're about 100 yards down. We were over here by these vehicles. That's his car right there. That's where we were standing. And all of a sudden, all these birders started congregating there. I'm like, Mike, boreal owl. And we booked it over here. And sure enough, they had eyes on the boreal owl. So here is the picture of the boreal owl. Now, I swear it's in there. Okay? It is right in there. Tucked in. I don't know how anybody saw it, but it was tucked in so tight in this little patch of the spruces here. It took me a while to actually get eyes on it. And then once we got this, I got my scope set up and we were taking pictures, and that's as good as I could get. The light was fading, so it was hard to get a crisp picture. I took some video of it too, but there he was. He was preening himself, and it looked like he was actually maybe eating something he had caught. And I would say 2/3 of the people, which was well over 100 people, had left. We were down to about 25, 30 people there, and that felt like a big crowd, but there could have been well over 100 people there had that bird stuck around. I was kind of glad that, selfishly, that there wasn't 100 people, and for the bird's sake, that there weren't that many people, because then there's a lot of pushing and shoving. You get birders and photographers and everything together, and they all, you know, want the good shot. But we did get the boreal owl. Wow, that's 4. What's remaining? The snowy owl, and then there was one. The snowy owl. We're like, okay, now we've got all these. We have to get snowy owl. We were kind of putting that off that, oh, it'll happen because they're the more common one. We didn't get the one in the Meadowlands, and then on our way out the 3rd morning, we decided to follow all of the snowy owl reports here and go snag our snowy owl. Right? Look at that eBird report. That's a lot of red saying that there's a lot of snowy owl sightings. So we checked 2 airports, Duluth And then in Superior, I think that's the Superior Airport there, we checked this strip out in Lake Superior here. That's this right here, because they sometimes land in this habitat here, nothing. And we checked this kind of an oil refinery spot right here that they get a lot of reports at. Not a single snowy owl. Oh, wait, what's that? It looks like a snowy, doesn't it? Oh, wait, our hearts were thumping, and then we zoomed in, and it was snow. A chunk of snow that looked amazingly like a snowy owl. Don't be embarrassed if you get fooled by owls like that, okay? They can be plastic bags, they can be buckets. You'll see a lot of those before you see a snowy owl oftentimes, right? But look at every one of them, because one of them will be a snowy owl one day. So all of these spots were dead ends, and it was getting time. Like, we had to go. We needed to get back. And so we started the long trek back. A little dejected, but you know what? We had to keep it in perspective. We saw 4 out of the 5 northern owls, and we were happy about that, because the one that we probably wouldn't mind missing the most would be snowy owl, because we get them back at home. You know, the other owls, we don't generally, so we were really happy. However, Mike, he likes to keep quiet to himself and his thoughts sometimes. And so here we are. Was it the giving up and going home? The going home, yes, but the giving up, Mike had not given up. Because on our way back to Hudsonville, along 196, he exited, and I said, "What are you doing, Mike?" He said, "Where did you say that snowy owl had been reported a little earlier this winter?" I'm like, "The Ottawa Executive Airport over there by Zeeland." He's like, "It's pitch black, by the way. It's after 10 o'clock at night." I'm like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah, we got headlights, don't we?" All right, Mike, let's go for it. It might not be Minnesota, but it's still the same weekend, right? So we drove down Byron Road here, and this road right here goes along the airport, and he pulled up to this spot right here, shone the headlights out on the field, and guess what? And that was not a chunk of snow, because look at that picture that I took after it flew away. There he is, and there he goes. At first, when we saw it, I had to get the scope out with the headlights out there, and sure enough, we confirmed it, but it looked like a chunk. He's like, "What is that chunk of snow out there? Could that be?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let's get the scope on it." Sure enough, it was a snowy owl. So we had done it. We had gotten all 5 owls in a weekend trip to Minnesota, even though one was in Michigan. And so there we are, celebrating our 5 out there on the snowy road in Zeeland after getting the snowy owl. There they are, all 5 northern owls in one weekend. Truly an adventure to remember. A lot of fun times, and you know, it's fun to share that joy with other people and finding birds. And I hope that you all share that same joy with the birds that you go looking for this spring and other seasons. It just makes for such a fun trip. If you want to see, I have a video that I put out there on this adventure. You can go check out my YouTube channel, the Oven Birder, and watch it on YouTube. I have a retelling of the story as well. And you can find it by taking a picture of that if you want to do that, or share it with somebody else. And with that, we're going to do the, thank you. It is time, and it is almost 20 after, it is time to pull some names out of a hat. So I'm going to turn this over here. I think you all can see now, those of you online. Howdy. We've got some names here of some Mug Club members that all Mug Club members have their names in this drawing up until this morning. So what I'm going to do is pull some names out of this bird feeder and get some people some prizes. All right, first up, we've got this My Birds hat donated by the Audubon Great Lakes and their My Bird program, and a couple of stickers. Let's see if I can pull a name out. We've got Laura Holbert. You can send it. Will she need this in Japan? This is Laura's mom. Laura was actually the Northern Saw-whet owl bander who did a presentation here this fall. So she helped us at our banding station as well. She is in Japan with her husband with his work. So if you can get that to her, awesome. Hopefully you can hand it to her in person. Take a trip. Yeah, awesome. All right. Let's go for a choice between this feeder or this owl house, okay? We've got Lydia Borman. Is Lydia here? All right, we got it in person. All right. Do you want to choose now? The owl box? You sure can. And then that one is going to go to Eric. Here you go. Congratulations. We're on a streak. That's 2 in a row in the audience, right? Yes. Sorry, no offense to those of you online. It's fun when we're in the audience here. So let's do the bag of birdseed here. Lee Osterbahn. Is Lee here? I know who that is, but Lee gets a bag of seed. If you're online, you can post in the comments. I'll send a message off to you. He attends bird walks oftentimes, so I know who that is. Let's do a poster. We've got 2 more drawings here. Poster. Colette Anderson. Is Colette here? Oh, she's got the poster here. So I'll put her name with there. If you're online watching, Colette, I'll send you a message. We've got a poster for you. And a choice of one of these 3 books. There's the Birding Dictionary, Bird Trivia, and the Midwest Native Garden. Might pair well with the Connected County Parks. Joan Miedema. Is Joan here? Oh, all right, we got another in audience. Congratulations, Joan. You get these stickers too. So here's your stickers, and then you got the choice. Which one do you want? You want that Native Garden one or the
Native Garden?
All right, good choice. Congratulations. All right, it is 21 after. We're going to get going over to the feeder watching session. Those of you who are here for the feeder watching as well, do make your way over there, and I'll be there in just a moment. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you for a wonderful season. This couldn't be possible without all of you, so thank you for coming, and I will see you. Oh, I got to do this. I will see you next season. 11, 24, 26, we will do the photo contest and mug reveal, and 12-5, our next Coffee with the Birds. See you out there on the birding trail this spring. Thank you, everybody online. I'm going to be closing down the live stream, but thank you for joining us on this season of Coffee with the Birds. Take care, and we'll see you next time, and hopefully we'll see you out on the birding trail this spring here with some Ottawa County programs.